follow-up session for clients. I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in booking a session with me, you can do so at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. All right. Thank you so much for another opportunity to connect with you. The last session was so intense. There was so much to clear out, and I'm really proud of you for working through that. When an energy field is as intensely dense as what I cleared out of yours, I can imagine just how hard it can be to get through the digestion process, the release process of all of that. But just to go through life in a way that inspires that to kind of build up in there and to keep working through moving to the next stage, right? Where we can turn that dark stuff into growth and creation and breath and new life force energy. You know what I mean? So thank you so much, and appreciate just the rawness of what you're sharing. And I have a feeling that we all, anybody listening to this, will entirely relate somewhere in their life to what you're saying, what you're going through, and how you're expressing it. And it's really natural to feel angry at the world and the way the world is. It's really natural to feel, and because of the way that the world is and how suffocating it can be, I feel like it's natural to kind of lean towards the anger and the hopelessness and the I want nothing to do with this planet, and all that kind of gets built up in there because of the hurt, because it hurts to be here. It hurts to be here. So, man, I have just a million things to say. I've read your goals. I've read this, and I have just a million things to say. So I'll just start there. Everybody watching, I'm going to put a link in the description to the previous session if you're interested in checking it out. I'm going to go ahead and read what you shared. And thank you very much again for the raw realness of who you are. And I can't wait to see what we discover today, okay? All right, so you say, I am like a lost soul on earth. I don't fit in anywhere, and to be honest, nor do I want to, which is the saddest part of all of it to me. I literally want nothing to do with anyone. It's what my life has been for so long, so why not just accept it and go with it? Seriously, F this world. I'm so sick and tired of being hurt. I can't take it anymore. No one could. If someone else could live my day and every day and feel the way I feel, I would honestly be so proud of them. But sad faces. You put sad faces. Then you say this, which I want to look into this some more, okay? I also feel like this is quite a step in the right direction. So you say, about a week ago after our session, I tried killing the thing in my wall by kicking it with absolute anger and some dents went into it. But I also kept thinking, love, light, happiness. Love, light, happiness. I felt bad for it as it's trying to be evil, as we all are one and equal. I learned a lot this past week about I am Jesus, chakras, healing. I will literally do anything, but I thought I killed it. I really felt that way. It didn't work. The next day I painted a big red heart that said, I love you. Some more details happened that day, or lots. I can never sleep anymore, so at like 1:30, 12:45 a.m., 3:10 a.m., I still end up hearing, or more than anything, feeling its presence. I would love to find out why I suck so much here on earth and how to change it. I feel as if I have tried and I am destined to be a reject. Thanks for listening. Hugs. Hugs for you. Hugs. We all give you hugs. We all give you hugs, okay? All right. Really moves my heart in a million directions. I'm going to relax. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to start by describing what it looks like, okay? It's not like a bright, happy, fuzzy scene, okay? I see you and you have kind of a technology on your head, and it's a very silent room, and you're just sitting there in silence. And what feels disconnected from yourself, I see another part of you, and it's sitting more like a rag doll on the floor. The part of you with technology is female. The part of you that's like the rag doll is male. And the wall that it's leaning against is a bluish color, okay? And there's a black kind of outlining the walls. And the female sits on a stool closer to my viewpoint. And you don't want to let anyone in, and you're very sensitive to, I know what it is. So I would represent love, okay? So now letting love in, and the possibility that you let love in and then love wronged you. If love wrongs you, you're not going to be able to cope with it. So if you were to put your trust or faith in me, and if I represent love, and I walk in here and I do something that in a way part of you would expect, okay, but hopes that it wouldn't be that way, it feels vibrationally like it would shatter you, okay? Like it would be the last straw. It would be the end, okay? A lot of sensitivity, okay? Oh boy, where do I begin? When I step in, it's a energy current that's full of electricity. The air itself, it's like you could cut it with a knife. Literally, it's like butter, but it's clear. I can see through it. It makes me feel kind of itchy, and like I'm being electrocuted with a very, very light, slow moving current. Okay, so it's not going to totally hurt me. It's kind of stunning in a way. Like I feel a bit tranquilized, but also kind of like I'm floating or flowing through it, like I'm just a something in the ocean just moving around. And it does hurt me, but it's not intolerably painful. And you have your eyes closed, and the technology is sort of pulling the thought from your mind and projecting it to me. And oh man, you say so many strange things. One of them is, the first thing that you said is something like, "What are you doing here?" And then the next one is a very strange language. It's kind of like a technology language. And what is this next one? I say, "I know what to do. I know. Let's let you be in the center of the room. And it's almost like what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make it so vibrationally in this space that you're the number one person, okay? That you're the number one thing, okay? So I create a lot of people, and then we're all sort of sitting down, and all our eyes are on you, okay? The female in the stool. And I start to see there's a really tough exterior. And it's really sensitive to the potential of judgment. And who's actually sitting here are children. And they're of all ages. They're like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, but they're kids, okay? And they're young teenagers. And they're all quite open-minded, because I don't see anyone thinking less of you, and I don't see anyone picking you apart or laughing or making strange noises. And the younger the children that are here, the more open-minded to you they are, without judgment. But the whole of the energy is like an orchestra of different ages that are extremely non-judgmental. And it's forcing you to decide who you are, who you want to be, how you want to present yourself. And you're afraid, and you have a vibrational, it's fear. What are you afraid of? I don't want to fill in the blank there yet. And you take the hat off your head, this technology off, and you cry silently, and you look at all of these innocent eyes looking into your eyes, and you cry, and you feel like this is a breakthrough for you on some level. It is breaking through something, okay? It is breaking down a wall. And you can't say anything to sort of project a fight or say anything to, because there's children that are watching and listening, and you don't want to upset their minds or their growth or their development, because children are precious. And you do express that. And you wonder who you could be for these children. You wonder who you could be for yourself. And you feel strange as you're trying to hold yourself together, but the tears are streaming silently down, okay? And your nose is starting to run. And I feel like it's safe to let every single one of these children come and just cry with them, holding you. Because they aren't judging you at all. And in fact, their nature is actually wanting to help you feel brighter. And they are so sensitive to emotion that when they see you just let yourself go into tears, they're extremely receptive to that. And they all start to intermingle as to how to help you feel better. And you're so ashamed because how could you be helped by such young people, you know? Like, it's embarrassing is kind of what you say. I say they don't see it that way. They don't see it as embarrassing. And none of us actually do. In fact, we so understand you, we don't want you to feel embarrassed. And it's actually, again, the wall that we are breaking down is any reason to feel ashamed of your emotions or where your emotions are at, your perceptions of things, the hurt inside of you, all of it. Not to feel embarrassed by any of it at all. There's a lot of, I'm going to let this continue to go. So I want the visualization now is that you are in the center of a circle and there's many rings of different ages of young people, okay? And they're very close to you. They're holding your hands. They're rubbing your shoulders. They're like petting your head. They're hugging you in some ways. They're telling you it'll be okay. They're saying things and touching you in ways that is very gentle and nurturing, okay? They're helping you to know that it is safe to let go, safe to fall apart, okay? Safe to fall apart. And what's interesting is these young people, vibrationally, they represent purity and innocence. And that purity and innocence is keeping you safe, all right? They are a ring of purity and innocence that are holding you. And I do feel like you could see these as spirit guides, soulmates, alien friends. Like, they're all reflections of beings who absolutely adore you, are here to support you. And they're choosing to represent the young faces of purity and innocence that are not here to judge you at all. In fact, to keep you safe. All right. So they're creating an aura around you, a really strong aura around you. And it's kind of made out of a vibrational song that they're singing. And you are in sort of a capsule, a time capsule of safety, security, love, nurture, support, innocence, purity, all that stuff. Okay. All that genuine good stuff. And you are at the center of receiving. All right. You are at the center of receiving. That is so healthy. That's so good. You are at the center of receiving, and it's so good. Now, I feel like I've got you in a safe space. Okay. There's a lot that does not, does not want this for you. Encouraging you to not want this for yourself, and then to believe that reasons why, okay? Then to translate that, reasons why, and the pain and suffering and the reality of our world and the pain and that reality of our world, and to kind of get lost in that in order to keep you in a low vibrational space, okay? And there's a lot of influential consciousness here. And I don't want to define that as anything but influential consciousness that doesn't want you to graduate to a higher vibrational level, which would be quite vibrationally strange. I can imagine that you might feel, again, love, letting love in, and then love being the one to defile you. Was it ever love that defiled you? Or was it something else that convinced you that it was love that defiled you? Now, pure, true, innocent love does not defile anybody. What then does the defilement? What does the defiling? Because it wasn't love, all right? Maybe you saw into it and it reminded you of love, or love was supposed to be there for you and it wasn't. I also choose to see love has many faces that encourage us to become more self-aware, stronger, more empowered. Love is many things, but let's define love as pure, innocent, genuine, caring, kind, the heartbeat. That love doesn't ever let you down. That love is always there doing that for you. You are also it doing that for yourself. So what is clouding you? What is clogging you and your ability to experience that as your divine essence, as your divine truth? Anything that is in itself doing the same thing. And now it's encouraging you to mirror it, and you guys can all be a family together in a dark, disturbing, low-dimensional, miserable place. But you're family. That's love, you have each other. All right. So I want to emphasize that we have you in a safe space, because I feel like that is the necessity here. All right. I'm starting to get a lot of weird stuff. Okay, so I need to pay attention. I do know there's this male persona of yourself that is like a rag doll against a bluish colored wall. And I don't feel like I need to pull that into a safe space or anything. I feel like that's vibrational. Everything is vibrationally as it needs to be right now. Okay. They are asking, many angels are asking, Archangel Metatron, who is an angel I primarily work with a lot, is Archangel Metatron, is here, and he's guiding this time capsule with all the youthful faces and the innocent, pure energies, guiding that capsule up to a star that is really like bright and shiny and beautiful, and this is where we want your energy to be right now. Okay, so we're Archangel Metatron, many angels are here to guide that to that space. Okay. And then Archangel Metatron asks the question, so what remains? What else is there to do here? Since we've moved your consciousness out of this dark place, then we can just move on, right? We can just move on from this. He's saying this for a reason. So let me explore that, because truthfully, yes. But I also feel that there's something else here that I need to investigate. So I'm just going to listen. I keep avoiding that male side that's against the wall, and I keep avoiding it. Like, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to acknowledge it. I don't want to give it the time of day. It makes me very vulnerable and uncomfortable in my heart. It makes me very angry. Too angry. Wouldn't touch it with a 20-foot pole, 100-foot pole, mile-long pole. Want nothing to do with it. Would rather move it to a totally different dimension where it could be lost and never found. I hate it. Okay. And Archangel Metatron is revealing that some things that we resist are the things that we need to heal the most. And the things that make us the most angry are the places that we need to go into with a bright and beautiful heart. So before I can get to this male side, I'm going to have to feel everything that you feel that is a rejection of it, okay? Because it's quite a lot, and it make it very hard for me to move through that energy. I'm so impressed that you were able to even book sessions with me, because that had to have required a lot to be able to do it. Okay, I'm moving through. Man, the electricity pulsates really, really, really substantially, and it makes it almost like you're going to be tortured if you even try to get to this male ragdoll. And it kind of wants to distort your mind and distort your vision and make you angry and blame everything on this male ragdoll. And none of it's actually true. I say I'm here. Let's stay with it. Let's just continue to digest this energy, this influence. All we do is we just absorb it into our beautiful light bodies, and then it's just more fuel for the fire, right? The healing fire inside us. Like, people don't realize this, but negative energy is like fuel for the fire inside of ourselves. So when you're full of light, you can pull negative energy into yourself and transform it, and you become brighter. That's as long as you don't allow yourself to be influenced by it. Influence then pulled into it. Now you're swallowed up in its stomach. Versus now you bring it into yourself and you transform it in the light to help it to release its insecurities and manipulate self-manipulations, etc., to help it to find a wholeness and a harmony now. So who is stronger than who in the influence? So now you have to decide about influence, okay? What does that word mean? It's to be influenced by, the inspiration to be hurt by the world, angry at the world, influenced to be these ways, right? It's quite convincing. It's very convincing. And it feels good on some level to feel those ways and stay in those ways, because it brings proof that we are right somehow. And that proof that we are right in our anger and the way we assess things, makes me want to cry. Because I know you're telling me that you're not entirely like this, and you know that's wrong. And you don't want to feel this way because you're sad. And you're tired of feeling sad. You're tired of feeling hurt. And I say that that's wonderful that you're... I mean, it's okay if you get it the fist and then you relax the fist, and then you become the fist again and then you relax the fist. It's okay to go through the ebb and the flow of feeling caught up in it and then finding the breath and letting it go again. And the more that you do this and build a relationship with the other side of this energy, which is nurturing and healing, and the love that has always been there, that has never hurt you, because love never hurts you, is something else that does the hurting. The true love is pure, innocent light that wants you to be nurtured. It's the harmony, right? So it wasn't the harmony that hurt you. It was something else. The harmony never hurt you. It was something else. And that something else is making you feel vulnerable to letting the love and the harmony in, because it is vulnerable to the same, okay? Okay. And so I just give you a really long hug. And I say we're digesting this quite well, this like electrical flow, this electrical current. We're almost to this male sort of ragdoll. And Archangel Metatron is just completely here, because he's an incredible teacher. He's an incredible guide. He's an incredible healer. He's this incredible archangel. He's like many things. And I feel his presence so well. And I'm just grateful. I'm just so grateful for him. I'm grateful that I'm getting to know him in this life. All right. Now this is going to be very hard. Okay. Okay. We're in the part where we're working on just simply touching this emanation, okay? It's just a male ragdoll. But it is part of you, all right? Somehow it's part of you. So it's so much resistance, okay? It's like, I hate you. I'll always hate you. I'll never love you. How dare you? I hate the fact that I'm touching you right now. Like, it's all happening, okay? So this is you're doing great. Just keep putting your hand there. You got this. No matter what attacks you that makes you resent this moment, stay with it, okay? Because it's all those energies that we're actually purging out here, right? And so that you can feel what is beneath the surface of them, which is awesome stuff. It's like light, love, all that juicy good stuff, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So this is your fear, is that this ragdoll is now pulling the spirit of who you are inside of it. And when you go into it, it's a very scary thing that is happening. There was an interesting jewel that was here in your third eye. It's a greenish color. It's extremely clear to look through. It's in a square, like a rectangular shape. It's faceted, like it's like I mean, it's been to a jeweler. I mean, it's clean, it's pure, it's pretty sparkly. And it just popped out, okay, of your third eye once you got pulled into that ragdoll. I mean, it just literally doesn't even have a face. It's more like a sock puppet or something. It's a bit creepy, okay? Now I'm getting pulled into it too. Because I was sort of going to look at Archangel Metatron and ask him about. So are we able to move on now? Or I don't know if that's supposed to be a funny joke, but I'm just like getting pulled into this thing now. It's like, okay, let's see what your relationship is with this. I mean, it's inconceivable. I don't know what to make of it in here. As in, visually, it's like we're in a bunch of blubbery organs and we're just being blubbered around inside of some kind of weird internal body. It is just, it's like blubbery organs and stuff. We're being squished and squeezed through and stuff like this. And on the back side of what would be his heart portal, we're being sucked through a cyclone of energy, and we're in a way going down a drain, but it's horizontal instead of vertical. So we're going down the back of the heart portal drain, going backward. And you tell me that, I mean, you're trying to show me what this means to you, but I don't know how to interpret it as a human being. So we're just going to have to work with what images come, all right? So basically, it pulls us into a very shallow pool against a a vertical wall, okay? And so the wall is made out of a black stone. And then we hit this shallow pool that is part of this upright wall, okay? And then we're in it. And we're not falling out. There's no gravity here. So we're just in this pool of water. And you show me that there's a groove that goes straight down the center of it and then straight from right to left. It creates like the compass effect, okay? And that groove, so I'm looking at the groove, I'm looking at the black wall, it's like a stone. I'm looking at us in this little pool of water. And I'm looking back the way we came, and I see a strange hole in the distance. And I know on the other side of that hole is what we went through, and beyond that is that, man, the place that we were when we were choosing to touch this ragdoll. It's like everything has a process, everything has a path. And the question is, where do we go from here? I will say this is the most peaceful I have felt and experienced. It feels like we don't have to have an answer to where we go from here. We don't have to have an answer at all. We can just stay here. And there's nothing that is loudly negative or positive. It's just kind of a matter of fact space that we can just stay here if we want to. It's pretty neutral. But I see that you look sick in your face and your eyes become kind of see-through. And you have a black energy stuck inside your throat. And you start to get swallowed up down a tunnel here. We're going down this next tunnel. It's quite a small pipe. So it's sucking in the water and it's sucking us in. And we're going down this now. And I can tell that we're moving through an inconceivable space. I feel like there's some kind of very loud being that is here. Maybe the space is even made up of this being, like the being is the space itself. And when I say it's loud, it almost seems like, what are you talking about? It's not loud. And I say, but I can sense it, I can experience it. And there's big waves of black that kind of streak in and around here, almost like the black is always moving. But it also says that that it is clear. The space is clear, so you can't see anything in here. So I translated into just being a black space. It does not like it when I change the color. If I say, oh, well, you're a yellow space or an orange or green or red or purple or whatever space, it's like that clench in the heart gets really tight and mad at me for doing that. How dare you do that? How dare you? And I say, okay, well, let's give this a try. Why don't we just try, and we'll just, I feel like, let me see, what color do I feel like is the most influential here? I'm going to just use all the chakra colors here. And it's a really noticeable clenching. And it hits the heart portal pretty loudly. And it hates me for this. It hates me for this. And it doesn't ever want you to feel like you are full of something more. It wants you to always feel like you can relate to it. And maybe the empath in you, and maybe at even a young age, maybe something of your childhood self that you don't remember this ever happening, and maybe you were a baby, and maybe you were 1 or 2 years old and had a dream, I don't know. But what if you had this empathic inspiration to help a being that was truly maybe lost in the dark and full of hate? And by doing that, you sort of compassionately blended with it so that it would not have to be alone. But then you became it on some level and was channeling it through you without realizing. And that was never really part of your identity. It was this other thing that you adopted as part of who you are. But all in all, you were trying to actually heal it, but you hadn't learned how to yet. Now, this would be quite an advanced accomplishment to be able to reach this, because the location of it isn't exactly direct. It's not easy to get to. It's not straightforward. You're going to have to go through a lot of resistance. And this thing wants to burn my skin. It wants to burn my ears. It wants to burn my hair. It wants to send me the smell of burnt anything, burnt rubber, burnt flesh, burnt house, burnt anything. It wants to give me the smell of burnt. So I ask you what you think now that we're exploring this in another way. Let's just explore this. We have to work with some kinds of ideas. Because this space doesn't want to talk about it, and because it's hard for my human mind to translate what you're telling me, I can only work with the best I can define it, okay? And when we work with an idea, and my guides give this a nod, we have a place to start. And I feel vibrationally quite bright when I choose to see the story as happening like this. An influence of your inner child, the empathic you that wanted to help something that was lost in the dark. You yourself becoming connected to this, wanting to learn how to heal this, only to find yourself adopting its behaviors, not realizing that you have become it on some level. Never was your identity. That feels vibrationally like a good description. Because the more that I talk about it, it gives you a new sense of self, identity, and empowerment. And I see you changing. And you don't hold anything against this being. You actually remember yourself as the child that wanted to help this being to break down, to cry, to release the shame. The way that in the beginning of your session, we're encouraging you to just break with us here to hold you. And the innocence of children and the purity is here without judgment. And this thing needs that too. And you are capable of being that. No wonder you were a child in this relationship, because you had the capacity to be there to support in this way. My gosh, it's lightening your heart up so much. You know how I was encouraging you to say affirmations like, I am Jesus, I am Mother Mary? Because it basically it triggers how we perceive Jesus, how we perceive Mother Mary. There's powerful vibrational, collective, and generational meaning to this. And they're pure divine representations of light and love, the most innocent of them, the most genuine of them, right? And when we choose to say, I am Jesus or I am Mother Mary, we are aligning with a pure, innocent light and love that is bringing it inside of ourselves, helping to blossom that as part of our true nature, as part of our identities, and helping us to be representations of Jesus and Mother Mary. I'm telling you, the light that shines through from this choice is just absolutely powerful. It's just incredibly powerful. And so you having chosen to give that a try, I feel like we needed that step, because you're able to say that in here, and you're able to prompt the initial inspiration to heal this being so through yourself. So you're saying, I am Jesus, I am Mother Mary, now inspires the doorway of your heart to shine light into him, okay? Allowing yourself to be susceptible enough to blend with him brings him into you, makes him even more vulnerable if you choose to be the light inside yourself. Now he is at the will of your light. If he influences you to remain dark, then you have become a part of him a part of you, and you remain in the dark with him. And you can call him family, right? But the original goal was to heal him. I see a sick look upon your face, and this is scary for you because you make the identification that it is now inside of you. I say, don't you remember the conversation we had at the beginning where I talk about bringing the negative energy inside and fueling the fire? So this negative energy is inside of you. Look at how you feel. It is inside of you, isn't it? Nothing to be afraid of there. Now we got it right where we want it. Where it's inside of you, we just spark the light in your heart. I am Jesus, I am Mother Mary, I am the light of all, I am love, I am source, I am pure, I am innocent, I am an inner child, I am beautiful, I am kind, I am generous, I am loving, I am whole, I am harmony. You say these kinds of words and it sparks, 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 sparks. I am a rainbow, my chakras are all full of light and they're colorful. I'm colorful, You say I am alive. You say things that are just bringing you into a brighter place, okay? And that is your fire. And you're bringing this thing into that brighter place, and you're allowing it to be in that fire, okay? So that it can start to heal. It can't go anywhere. It's screaming and trying to get out of you, but now you're in control. And the next thing is happening. This thing, you're doing quite well, and it's very easy. You just keep shining your light, right? And how do you shine your light? If you don't know how to shine your light, you can use statements like, I am Jesus, I am love, I am light, I am bright. You can fill your imagination of memories that have made you feel very happy, feel touched, feel loved, feel nurtured, feel cared about. It could even be a fantasy that never happened, but it's powerful enough that it inspires a movement in your heart. Like being a child and watching Ariel the Little Mermaid, now pretending I'm Ariel, and now I'm singing Ariel's songs. I have a perfect voice, Did that ever happen in my imagination? Of course it did. It's real, man. So we tack onto that, and we just pull that beautiful energy in, and that is how we shine our light. We activate it with these kinds of ideas. And the ideas then fill us with feelings, and the feelings are good. The feelings are genuine. They're full of love. And that is the furnace. That is the furnace, you see? And so you just keep doing that. Now more freaking critters and freaky faces and like a lot. I'm telling you, millions of weird things are all over the walls in here, and they're coming towards you. And I tell you, this again is perfect because guess what? We bring it on in and we become brighter. We pull that stuff in, we introduce it to our light, and then it fills with light and it adds to our light and we become brighter, okay? So don't be intimidated if it's a trillion things, if it's a universe of dark things. You are a bajillion universes. So is it more than you are? Is anything more than you? I mean, we're bringing it in to heal it. So bring it in to heal it and now experience all that you are. I'm telling you right now, I'm feeling this is all like magnetically pulling in here, and it's pretty disoriented in a great way. You're starting to feel angry. That's actually part of the healing process. That's part of the transformation. That's good. I say, okay, let's work on this. What is making you feel angry right now? You don't have a word to describe it, but you kind of say that you're angry at yourself for getting lost in this. You're angry at the influence that encouraged you to get lost. You're angry that you're even having to do this right now. Okay. So now why are you angry? You say, I'm angry at everything, and you start to kind of scream, and this black bulge here in your throat releases many what's like black moths and dragonflies. That's what they're like, moths and dragonflies coming out of your mouth now, and you're just screaming all these black insects out, moths and dragonflies. And the process of bringing it in is starting to push it out, and all this anger and negativity is just transforming into things in this dark place. And this being now is starting to become large and in charge, and is starting to fill your eyes, and is starting to look through your eyes at me. And you become its skin, okay? And it actually has a water element to it. It looks like a dark side of Poseidon. It has a trident. It has a massive beard that's made out of like jellyfish. And it's kind of an underwater like creature. And its eyes are just on, it's just pure hate, pure anger, okay? I just stand here and I just look into its eyes and I say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you've been through so much. Sorry about how bad it's hurt. I'm sorry it's hurt so bad. I'm really sorry about that. Really sorry you had to go through all of that. Really sorry. I just place my hand into the heart of this thing and I just continue to say this. I'm very sorry. I know it's hurt you a lot, hasn't it? So sorry that it had to hurt so much. It just had to hurt so much, and I'm so sorry about that. And this skin that you are, this thing that it is, it's the dark side of it is starting to turn into flakes of black, okay, ash. And the flakes of black ash are just starting to disintegrate. And all these creaturey things just start to turn into flakes of black ash. And you feel in between having healed a lot and not having healed it yet in your heart. And I start to see everything that was here is just turned to black flakes, and it's just an empty room. And your heart is bloated and it's black and it hurts. And you say, I don't feel good. And I don't know what to do. I say, I want you to say, I do know what to do. And then I want you to tell me what you know that you need to do, okay? I do know what to do. Whenever you feel like you don't know what to do, and I'm telling everybody this, in life, whenever we say, I do not know what to do anymore, I don't know what to do, that's when you actually say, I do know what to do. And you ask yourself the question, what do I know that I need to do? Now challenge yourself to answer that question, okay? You have to answer it. You don't get to say, well, I don't know. You have to come up with an answer. An answer will come to you, okay? So I'm telling you to say it differently. I do know what to do. What is it that you know to do? And you don't answer it because what you do is you give in to yet another layer of this energy, and it transforms, it basically burns you alive, and you turn into black ash, and it's a very disturbing looking face. It's got a massive mouth with lots of sharp teeth, and it's kind of an oval shape, horizontal, and it's fleshy looking. It looks like kind of like a pumpkin in a way without any skin on it. It's like human skin instead of pumpkin skin. And it's got really massive eyes. It's very creepy looking. And again, it's losing its influence. It's losing its power. It's like a lighter out of fluid. It's dissolving already. And I see you, the thing falls to the ground, and it kind of opens its body up, and you come out from inside of it as another part of yourself. And you say, I'm afraid of how many layers there is of this. I don't know if I'll ever see the end of it. I say, I want you to say something to me. Okay, let me find the right word. It's like, say it differently, okay? Say it differently. That there is an end to this. And what is that end? I want you to take me to the end of this. And the thing, another thing deep down inside, okay, is coming out the eyes of now what is this next level you, okay? It's coming up from inside, and it's hissing at me. And it has really long claws and really long distorted hands, and it's just trying to rip me apart. Say, okay, so I want you to tell me when the end of this is. Where's the end? And let's go to the end. There's many another monsters coming through. It's very bubbled out. It's very just, it's the weirdest thing. I mean, I don't know how to describe its texture. It's kind of ashy, flaky, kind of slime-like, but it holds its shape. All right, and that too is like kind of an octopus over your head, and now it's off, and now you're breathing, and here you are again. Where's the end of this? And you kind of lose your mind, you start laughing, you say, we'll never get there, ha ha ha. Okay, where's the end of this? And you become a dried out skeleton, and there's spikes coming out of the floor that's like coming up through your spine and ripping you into pieces. And there's a thing of yourself beneath the floor here, and a very odd looking thing. And it's a woman who has like a purplish skin and really beautiful kind of red hair. She also has a fish-like essence to her, like she could be an underwater person. But she's struggling between being her, I guess, innocence or beauty or divine feminine, and then being, instead of being a warrior, it's being evil. It's ripping people apart. It's not, there's for no reason. It's like war, war has this element to it that we're at war for this reason. Okay. So her demeanor is beyond the warrior because there's no reason to her chaotic nature. So either she's extremely evil or she's the opposing side of that, which is very fair and beautiful and kind and divine feminine and generous. It's just like everything that is so sincere. Okay. And all the goodness of all. Okay. I say you have to make a decision. Who are you? Because you can't live with two extremes. You're gonna have to decide who you are, and you're gonna have to bring that into balance. And you're gonna have to be firm with that identity, and you're gonna have to stay true to it for a long period of time. There's no floundering. There's no going back and forth. You have only one presentation of self, and what is that presentation going to be? You either are destructive or you are healing. Okay, so which one? Because if you want to be destructive, it's going to be quite painful. But if you want to be healing, it can be rehabilitating. There's no life that's an easy life, even if you choose to be healing. But life can be quite interesting if you let it. Every experience be a thought-provoking, a mind puzzle, something to ask a question about. And when you let life be like that, you're going to grow and you're going to find this world to be more than you thought it was, okay? You have to let go of that destruction side, or at least you have to choose to hold it and neutralize it into a healthy balance, okay? And then you can work with yourself as a whole without being vulnerable to that side. Understand it, but don't be vulnerable to it. Be in control of who you want to be, what you want to represent, how do you want to influence children. You say, please don't take me back to the initial scene, to the beginning. Because you're already kind of taking yourself back there. And you don't want to go back to this beginning. Because you're embarrassed of who you let yourself become. And I say, that's a brilliant story. Why don't you tell these children what you've learned about being human, helping those who lost themselves to darker energies, how you felt vulnerable and became that, how you overcame that. That now is a powerful teacher. That now could be the next step for you. And acknowledging what you are capable of as a giver of something great to this world. You change. You do. You actually embrace a new state of being. You allow yourself to become strong enough to be, what is the feeling of being whole? And you sit there and you aren't ashamed of yourself, ashamed of what you've done, what has happened to you, what you've experienced. Your life story is your power. It's what makes you special. It's what you've learned from that life story, the meaning you've taken from it, and how you can tell others what that story is about. And people either take away something from it or they'll take nothing from it, or whatever people choose to do. But that's still your story. And what is your purpose in sharing that story is sharing yourself, sharing what you've learned and the meaning of it, right? It's good. It's very good. This is the next important thing. All right? It's okay that we're still running into these layers. We're moving through them, all right? So now in this scene, I want to remind you, though, there's a time capsule that we sent up right into that star. But now in this scene, you've shared what is your story with the children, okay? And I started to see their faces look like that scary kind of pumpkin with the human skin, and it's their face all start to look like the scary thing, okay? They all look like the same face on different sized bodies. And it tells you it's never going to let you go, and all the bodies merge together into this one massive thing, and it has vines for arms and legs, and it's starting to wrap around you, and it's starting to make you feel like you'll never get free of this. I say let's just hold this for a minute. Now what did I recommend here? Ariel the Little Mermaid. Literally anything that reminds you of joy and love and memories from your childhood, fantasies or visions that made you feel touched in your heart and your soul. Statements like, I am Jesus, I am Mother Mary, Jesus and Mother Mary are in my heart. Whoever you value, whoever you admire as beautiful beings of light, when you're struggling to be that light for yourself, you just bring their light in to ignite that light inside yourself. It helps. It seriously helps. I'm telling you, this works. It literally works. And so you do that. You could even do like a vision of a little kid that I don't know, fell and scraped their knee, that you could be there to help them when nobody else was there, to get to a safe place where you could talk to them and put some peroxide and a band-aid on and wipe their tears and help them find their parents, whatever, okay? It's like these types of just ideas, these little miniature creative stories of goodness, when you fantasize or come up with them, it starts to activate feelings of goodness inside of you, okay? And so when anything out there is trying to activate vulnerability or weakness or insecurity or anger or lack or frustration, you have to be self-empowered. You are in control. You make the choice to counter it with your choice to be a different side of who you are now. And that thing now is vulnerable to you and the strength you have in your new position. And if it doesn't want to be around you anymore because it doesn't like its vulnerability to you, or it decides to transform because it admires you, just like the human race will either run away from you or admire you and thank you, right? Become your next friend or enemy that you never talk to again. I mean, that's the human race. That's the energy world consciousness too, okay? And so you stand true to who you are. You stand true to who you choose to be. It will decide what it wants to do from here. It will go away and never come back, or it will be grateful and transform in the light of yourself, or you'll just feel that in your heart that it found healing from you, or whatever. You may actually know what ends up happening. You may just feel it inside and just be able to even say, I just felt that a movement in my heart, and I just knew that it was set free back into the light. I just knew. And I knew I was the one to help it do that. I knew I was the one to help it do that. Did you ever think that you went the path of this darkness and just all these feelings and the anger? Did you ever think that you walked that path in order to understand it, become it, and by becoming it to understand it, to actually bring in beings that you knew about on the soul level, that you, when you became strong enough, would transform and help them and to bring them back into the light? Your brothers and sisters from other lifetimes, your family, your soulmates, your whatevers. We're all family here. We're all family. And that when that happened, they would be the ones that would empower you. They would be the ones to teach you what that was like, and you would be the ones to help set them free as you set yourself free, because you became strong enough to do that for yourself, for them. And that's what they were hoping for all along. But you needed the learning. You needed the learning, the raw learning. You need to become completely transformed into that, okay? Only to make a new decision, which then gives you access to all these vulnerable consciousness that can now be healed by you. All right? And they could decide if they wanted that or not. But you have the power now to heal others because of what you've learned, because you chose to walk this path. That makes you powerful. And that gives you purpose on earth. It gives you purpose. It gives you pride in who you are. I'm telling you, we walk these paths and become whatever transformed, okay? Whatever becomes our addiction or our emotional state, whatever becomes our suffering that we fall victim to. And we believe it's our truth. We believe it's our reality. We believe all this stuff, right? Until we decide that we're going to do it differently. That became the gift of our self-learning, our story, right? Our empowerment. Now it becomes our purpose. Now your story is your purpose to help others. Do you see yourself as having the potential to help others? So when you start to embrace your life here, oh my God, you're going to have access to so much. And you're going to be proud of yourself, and you're going to be grateful and thankful you never gave up, okay? And it's all going to make sense. I'm telling you, all of this will make sense. It really will. So it's just allowing yourself to shift into that sense. We can get there, okay? All right, let me just see what else. Okay, so... Okay. Basically, we're in the original space and everything's kind of silent. And there's no emotional vulnerability. There's nobody watching. You're just kind of looking around like, you ever live in a house for a long time and everything's moved out now and you're looking at it for the last time and it's kind of a strange feeling. It's like a goodbye, saying goodbye feeling to your life because this home or this environment have been in your life for this many years and now it's not anymore. It feels weird, and so you're kind of looking at all of this and the path, through that ragdoll and into that space. Like this is like some kind of home environment that is cleared out now. And it's like a hush and a kind of a weird feeling like it's okay to say goodbye to this. It's okay to say goodbye. And Archangel Metatron is here and he's holding your hand, in the spirit of yourself that still remained in this space is who we are taking up to the star with the time capsule. And okay, let me watch. All right, we have to go inside the time capsule first because you're really nervous to have anything to do with any aspect of yourself that was from that other place. And you don't trust that at all. You definitely do not trust this essence, okay, of yourself. And this is good because it's bringing out that I don't trust you energy. I mean, I see your eyes changing. I see you looking more violent. I see you more aggressive. I remind you the children are here to support you. So let's consider this a falling apart again. And why don't you share with the children what's happening to you right now? And you become on fire and you say, I refuse to let that part of myself back. I refuse, okay? I say, okay, let's just tone it down a notch. Why don't you explain here to the children what's going on? Just to explain, not to become what's going on, but to control that, okay? You can turn into the Hulk or you can control it. All right. And you can channel it when it's appropriate. This is falling apart. This isn't channeling it as a strength, a controlled dynamic of strength. It's falling apart and breathing fire on everybody around you. So let's use a controlled environment. And now why don't we talk about what's going on, okay? And you start to cry and you say, I'm never going to overcome this. I say, okay, again, let's try this again. Talk about what's going on as though it's a story of some kind. Tell them. You say, okay, you say it like this. Once upon a time, there was a part of me that was innocent and pure. And you show me the jewel that fell out of your third eye. I forgot about that. And you say it was just like this jewel. And it's like you show me this pure, innocent you, and you have the children touch this jewel, was put into a place of fire. And in that place of fire, she maintained her innocence and her purity. until one day she couldn't hold on to it anymore because the fire was too painful. And once she couldn't hold on to it anymore, she came to the fire, and the fire burned her. It burned her so bad, all she could do was scream and cry. And she screamed and she screamed and she asked for help in her screaming, but nothing was there to help her but the fire to burn her further. And there was no hope of her ever seeing her pure innocence ever again. And then I see you tell the children that you're afraid of her returning because she is your pure innocence. And you're afraid of the fire coming back, and you don't want to go through the torture again. And that's why you're screaming. And the children nod and they talk to each other. All of them, they're like 14 and younger, okay? And they all talk amongst each other. And they say that we're here to help. We want you to believe that there are those that are here to help, and that you can call upon help at any time. And sometimes there'll be help in the physical, and sometimes there'll be help in the energy world. But you have tools. I am Jesus. I am Mother Mary. Jesus and Mother Mary are with me in my heart. Archangel Metatron is with me. But not only just say it, you can visualize it. Visualize Archangel Metatron's wings just surrounding you and keeping you safe. If you need to feel that way because you're having a hard time feeling that way for yourself. And then, excuse me, allow yourself to lean into the feeling. I am safe because Archangel Metatron is here holding me, and I don't have to shield myself from anything because Archangel Metatron is doing the shielding. And the children say these things to you. And I start to see the time capsule disintegrate, and we're in the starlight now, and the pure innocent side is coming. And you greet her like an old friend. And she looks pretty beat up. But she's wanting to return to you really badly. And she misses you. She misses herself. And you hold each other's hands. And she becomes you in a single instant. I don't even see her merge. She just disappears like a balloon that popped. She just disappears and she's in you. And I see the crystals contained her essence, because the stone doesn't really possess a color anymore, a hue to it. And I see that hue now that was contained in the crystals glowing inside of you. And you say, I need to feel safe for a while. And you ask Archangel Metatron and all these children to stay with you until you feel strong enough to feel safe yourself. And this is very much so a post-traumatic stress response. It's basically when life has traumatized you to the point that you don't know how to cope with feeling vibrationally just exposed to the world. Like this world is a harsh world. Now you have to start working with visualization techniques and sensations like playing pretend is powerful. Playing pretend that you are Archangel Metatron's wings are around you. Actually touch the feathers. Feel his presence. How does his presence make you feel? I see these children as holding the most incredible light of them all because it is so pure and innocent and it has no judgment. It's complete unconditional love. And it is supportive. And it is genuine. And to feel that genuine support surrounding you is keeping you safe. Okay? Jesus, Mother Mary, there's a reason why that keeps coming up. You should see them as spirit guides. I mean, do I call them spirit guides or just master guides or what? But they're here supporting you, okay? This is important that you allow yourself to lean into the feeling of being supported, okay? You're supported. Incredible, incredible, incredible. Really incredible. Thank you so much. What a gift. I'm really glad that you had the ability to reach out for support, that I could be here to help you, that we can all be here to help you, because that's really hard to do that all by yourself. It really is influential to have support. Baby steps, okay? All right. Thank you very much again. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day.